Happy Labor Day weekend from a sweltering San Diego. Boy, it was such a scorcher last night. I believe the temperature got as high as 103 degrees Fahrenheit. And even though I had a cooling fan running in my bedroom, it was still so difficult to fall asleep. Not just due to the high heat, but also the annoying humidity. It was still so muggy this morning that when I went to shave off my hair, usually I can just take a towel and wipe off the little bits and pieces of my hair off. That was not happening this morning. But I did not make this video to talk about the weather. The primary objective of this video is to extol the virtues of my trusty and reliable Honda Civic Si 2.0 liter naturally aspirated engine. This is a wonderful manual transmission car. I went from an automatic to a manual, so you can imagine the mistakes and the challenge I had. I stalled this car countless times, burned at the clutch. Particular challenge was the hill start. I acquired this car at 80k miles. The reading on the odometer is 102k miles at the moment, so I've since put in 22,000 miles. And I gotta tell you, this is one freaking dependable car. Every time I take the key and stick it in the ignition, I have a great deal of confidence it is going to start. And I gotta tell you, I cannot go back to an automatic right now because the connection I feel with this car is intense. It pleases me to shift the gears. If I want to drive 40 miles an hour in second gear, third gear, fourth gear, or fifth gear, that's my decision. That's what this allows me. I'm not going to let any non-sentient computer control the gear that the car is in. It's a wonderful car. My brother is he's the first owner of this car. Bought this car back in 2008, and it's not had to replace any major components. The radiator is original, engine's original, the timing belt on the engine still looks good. The alternator is still going. The starter is still starting the engine. This is a fantastic car. I recommend everybody to buy a Honda Civic Si. The only gripe, it's a minor detail, but it is a detail that is a thorn on my side. So I'm going to tell you about it. The sun visor, both the sun visors on the driver's side and the passenger side has failed. So bam, Honda, please improve that. Since the sun visors failed, this is what I mean. It doesn't remain in position. So step number 1, use a flathead screwdriver and pry off this cover. Now use a Phillips head screwdriver and remove these 2 screws. Alright, so the next step you're going to want to do is take a permanent marker and make 2 marks just like that. I got a chance to take a look at the spring clip mechanism inside the sun visor, and just based on what I saw, these 2 approximate marks are probably the best spots to make your hose. Oh! So I'm going to be using 8 30-seconds by 1-inch bolt. So I'm going to take a 5 30-seconds drill bit to make my hole. This you can get at any hardware store. 8 30-seconds by 1 inch in length, and then you. Well, now that you have the visor all fixed, it's just a matter of putting it back into position and putting those screws in place. So after you screwed this back in place, I mean, you really don't need this plastic covering. It is already functional as it is, but if you put this back in place, it just looks a lot more aesthetically pleasing. So there you have it. The repair has been completed. So when I want my sun visor to go up in this position, it stays up. When I want it down, it stays down, and you can press it against the windshield. It'll stay in position. And these 2 bolts here are minimally noticeable. You can tell there, if you have it in this position, there's 2 nuts there. But I mean, aside from that, it's essentially a brand new functional sun visor.